He's not surprised at what seems to be the airport's low-key response.
I'd expect her to at least launch an investigation. You made an official complaint that records were being falsified. And as I say, it's a gross misconduct charge, for want of a better expression. I know that other complaints have been taken to more senior managers than Helene Watson, and they get the same sort of reaction, a lip service to the complaints.
Did not grasp the magnitude of a threat that had been gathering over a considerable period of time.
The investigation into the 9/11 disaster was published as I prepared to alert Manchester to my allegations. Families of the victims had just released footage of security checks carried out on the hijackers. Relatives said that mistakes were made at this point, which allowed the terrorists to get away and board one of the doomed planes.
Put on a terrorist watch list a week before, but airport security never got the list.
It seemed the right time to take my own evidence of shoddy security practices to America. I landed at Dulles Airport in Washington, the very same airport where some of the 9/11 terrorists had slipped the security net. The airport had installed state-of-the-art search equipment to try to foil a repeat attack. It had newly installed fingerprint testing and iris checking machines. I'd gone to meet a top American government inspector working in airport security in the States. To protect Scholes, I could only show him some excerpts of my evidence.
Sorry, go through. Can you wait there, please?
1,000 passengers came through and I only saw 3 bags being searched.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
If the consequences weren't so tragic, potentially this would be comical. And we went through the same kind of growing pains in the United States. It's just a matter of time. And when it happens, nobody will be responsible for it. This is terrible. And particularly when you throw in the threat condition that we're under now, you know, and unfortunately the United States and Great Britain are the 2 #1 targets.
Bogdan has some advice for me to pass on to Scholes.
A wise thing to be a whistleblower? It depends on how you look at it. For your personal benefit, it's one of the dumbest things you can do. But if you're inclined to do so, I recommend people do it if they see wrongdoing going on, particularly in government whistleblowers in the national security area.
My evidence caused enough alarm in the States to spark a chain of events back home. The government was told about our investigation and demanded to know more. It was time to let the airport know what I'd been doing. I immediately resigned. I told the airport I was a reporter and had been working undercover at Manchester. I'd compiled a long list of problems that I'd seen there. We knew the facts we discovered might represent a real threat to national security. We needed to give the airport plenty of notice and time to put things right before we could transmit the programme. Meanwhile, Scholes faced the risk that instead of dealing with the problems, the airport might try to track him down.
One of my family said, "Why do you have to do it? Let somebody else do it." But nobody else will do it because they're terrified. I'm not a multimillionaire. I can't afford to lose my job. But I'm that concerned that I'm willing to chance it. Of course, maybe I shouldn't say chance it.
In reply to our approach, Manchester Airport sent us a statement.
Our procedures are part of a complex net of security. This includes X-ray searching of every bag and hand searching of suspicious bags, and there is no evidence that there is failure to comply with this. All archway metal detectors are tested daily and are fully compliant. Our security patrols work in tandem with an £8 million police operation. The perimeter fence meets all Department for Transport requirements. Together with regularly reviewed procedures, this provides a complex system of checks and cross-checks. The integrity of this security system works as a whole and is not dependent upon any single element. Any breaches in procedure are rectified immediately.
We know that Manchester's been trying to change things fast. The head of security who put through the cuts in the first place has been moved on. Scholes gave me documents showing what happened after the airport heard about our programme.
The documents show how airport security managers went into crisis mode, organising meetings and creating this immediate action plan to plug any holes in security. The plan addresses many of the issues that we raise in the programme. It tells staff to get very basic things right, from searching bags to making sure that metal detectors are working properly to ensuring that planes are left secure at night.
In one last diary entry, Scholes showed how vulnerable he now felt.
I wonder how long it'll take for them to find out who the whistleblower is. I feel like I'm in a dead man walking situation. No doubt they will start investigating people. I imagine that will start after the film. I may have made a slip-up. I have to be very careful. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I think I've covered my tracks.
We took further advice about how to protect Scholes. I was told there was only one certain way, and that was to destroy every piece of evidence or film that might reveal his identity. My experiences of life as an airport security guard have made me feel more vulnerable than ever. And the reminders of 9/11 are everywhere.
On that September day, we were unprepared. We did not grasp the magnitude of a threat that had been gathering over a considerable period of time. As we detail in our report, this was a failure of policy, management, capability, and above all, failure of imagination.
The Americans may have begun to painfully learn their 9/11 lessons. But have we?